Here we go. It's time for a 10-minute misconduct. Sometimes they're 5-minute majors. This is a 10-minute misconduct. Rob Simpson in Vancouver. We bring in Risto Pakarainen in Stockholm. Good day.
Good day, Simmer.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. And very pleased to have our special guest today. It's none other than Doug Shedden, who had a lengthy NHL career and maybe, yes, an even lengthier career as a head coach in Europe. Hey, Doug.
Hello, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you. He's still going, by the way. We're going to talk about his current team in Germany here in a second. But right now, Doug is sitting on a lake in Ontario. Not too bad.
Oh, I did the grandfather thing yesterday. Went to Santa's Village in Bracebridge, and now I'm at my daughter's father and mother-in-law's cottage in Moon River in Bella.
The last time I spoke to you must have been when you were in Finland coaching Jokerit, I think. And I was looking at your stats now and I was like, Jesus, time flies. That was 15 years ago. You've been in Europe for a long time now.
I first went to Helsinki in 2005, and to think that it's 2021 and I'm still coaching over there, number one, when I first went to Finland, I didn't know much about it. And, just to stay in Europe that long, it's been an incredible run. And, my kids grew up there, so it's been fantastic. And it's been a great experience for the whole family.
And you've been at some great cities. I mean, you've been to Zug and Lugano, and Helsinki is a nice city and all that. But I remember when you came to Helsinki, you were this bad boy. You were like whatever, master of chaos or something. It was, remember that you were so not hated, but I mean, you were such a terrorizing everybody.
Didn't help. A couple of the media guys called me Captain Chaos or whatever it was either. Like a few of those Helsinki media guys were pretty brutal on me. They like to pick on the foreigners. But I think as when you're younger and you're more, the style of coaching has changed a lot over the years. Like we can't get away with things we could before us. You see why coaches have lost jobs for, saying the wrong things or doing the wrong things. So I think we all have to settle down a little bit and realize, there's better ways to communicate than screaming and throwing things and stuff like that.
Tell us about what you expect in the Dell this year in terms of COVID, non-COVID. Will things in your mind be back to normal? I would hope so.
Well, I hope so. The playing well fans is just, it's terrible. It's the fans, especially in anywhere, but especially in Europe, the way they dance and sing the whole night long. It's an incredible experience. The atmosphere is, so without them, it really hurts. I think we are starting with fans. I don't know if the buildings will be allowed to be packed, but it'll be definitely maybe half full. Ingolstadt, we're a team that our budget's maybe not as high as the Mannheims or Munich. So, that's in any league over there. You're dealing with those, there's teams that are richer than others, but we're usually in the hunt a little bit. And I think we're going to have a good team this year. We signed a great goalie out of Finland, Kari Rammer. We've got some really good players. Ray Bork's son's come to play for us. So, it's Ingolstadt's the home of Audi. That's where the cars are made. The Audi cars are made. So the plant there has 44,000 people. So they're a big sponsor. So because of them, I think they're the reason we have a team in Ingolstadt.
You're in Europe for 15 years. I think that's Finland, Switzerland, obviously. Then you were in Croatia.
Yeah, the Russian league. Yep.
And exactly. And now you're in Germany. So it's 4 different countries. What are the differences in the cultures of these different hockey countries?
Well, I think when I first went to Finland, Finland and Sweden are a lot like Canada, where hockey's #1 sport, especially obviously Finland for sure. So I really learned a lot there. The first time I got to work with a full-time goalie coach, it was Saki Lindfors at the time, and just the way their training methods were so much different than I was used to in the coaching the American League and East Coast League. So it was a great experience just to see how much off ice the guys in Europe did, especially that year in Finland and IFK and my 2 years in Jokerit. So, and then go to Switzerland, and Switzerland, they just started like around 2008. Recently in the last, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you've seen a lot of good Swiss players come out of the Swiss league, and a very fast league. It's great hockey. It's not as physical as the other leagues, like especially Germany with more imports. It gets more of a North American finish your Czech style, maybe not as fast as, certainly not as fast as Switzerland, but now you're seeing young German kids being drafted into the NHL. So, that league's come a long way also. So, and to go to Croatia and coach in the Russian league and be in some of those places in Russia, I certainly know where I don't want to retire to. I'll tell you that.
When you go to a new team and you want to get the guys' attention for the first time, do you have a trick or do you have something special that you always do that you
No, not really. I think the biggest thing is, it's funny because in this day and age, when you're going into a new team to take over, they've all made their phone calls to players they know that I've coached before. So they already kind of get a feeling what you're going to be all about anyways. They did their due diligence. So it's kind of funny. And I guess the biggest thing is you want the respect to be there when you walk in, that you've coached long enough. You're not just a one-trick pony, that you've been around a long enough time that they respect you and they're going to listen. And it's worked out well when I've taken over teams halfway through years, which I haven't done it a whole lot, but we've been successful. So, the run I went on in Ingolstadt, they're in last place when I took them over, and we ended up as high as fourth. And Lugano, when I took Lugano over there, in dead last, and we got as high as fourth and went straight to the finals that year. So, the pieces are in place. You just got to figure out how to get those the best out of those pieces.
Are you a little nervous when you first walk in? And also, we talk about hockey, and it's like 2 or 3 degrees of separation, not 6. So there's always somebody you have a connection to. Is that usually the case also?
Normally, there's somebody in the room that you've maybe coached before, or had a relationship somehow through a father or something like that. But you're nervous as hell. There's no question about it. And I'll tell you, Bristol's going to know this. The most nervous I've ever been in my life. Now, I'm a Canadian. I've been in Helsinki 1 year, and I get picked to coach the Finnish national team. So the nervous, when they introduced me as the head coach in front of Saki Koivu, Mikko Koivu, Teemu Solani, and all these Kimmo Timonen, and all these great players at this up in Viramäki, which is the famous training center in Finland for the players and athletes. I was never so nervous in my life to step up and talk in front of these guys. Then the media was going crazy because how dare they pick a Canadian? Like, we'd go crazy too in Canada if we picked the Finnish guy to coach our national team. So here I am, and everybody's against it. And, it was a really tough situation to be in. And I was really nervous that day. I could hardly spit. It was tough.
And where is that bronze medal right now?
It's hanging in my kitchen, actually, and in Marco Island in my home in my kitchen. It's the only thing in my house that you'd know I was even to have any part of hockey. It's this bronze medal hanging in my kitchen.
The Spengler Cup is almost 100 years old. It's the traditional holiday invitational in Davos. You have both won the championship of the Spengler Cup. You've won the Spengler Cup with Team Canada as a coach and lost the final to Canada as a head coach. Is that right?
I coached 8 Spengler Cups in a row, so my kids always thought that Christmas is in Davos every year. We just automatically go there. I lost to Canada twice in the finals with Lugano.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we won it in 2012, I believe. Yes, we beat Davos in the final.
Did you have any NHL ringers?
Well, that was the year of the lockout, so we had quite a few, but everybody had quite a few. But, we had Tavares and Duchesne and Spezza, and we had a pretty good team. Gagne and great the Bergeron from Boston. So it was a lot of fun to be around those guys for a week, and they did a great job. It was fun. It was good.
Another interesting thing from your past is you were briefly with the Red Wings in 86, 87. And a lot of future coaches, like, you never know who's going to come from where, but Gerard Gallant was on that team. Obviously, Steve Yzerman, who's a GM, Mike O'Connell, who went on to become a general manager. Adam Oates ended up doing some coaching. Dave Lewis ended up doing some coaching. You did some,
right.
You obviously are coaching. I mean, I guess you don't know that at the time, but great minds think alike.
Yeah, those are some good names you brought up there. That's a lot of good guys too. So, but good to see Gallant getting another chance in New York, because he certainly his past record deserves it. we all know what Stevie's done with Tampa Bay and Team Canada and all that. Just the classiest guy you ever meet. So it's good to see a lot of those guys. Dave Lewis, you know, it was great.
What was it like to finish in Toronto as a player, to get that chance?
Well, you've heard this before. It's a dream. You know, you grow up in Barrie, Leafs your favorite team. You watch them every night. Dave Keon, Hockey Night in Canada, and all that your whole life. So to put that uniform on, and you know where the cameras fall on the outside Maple Leaf Gardens dressing room all the way to the ice. So it was a big thrill that night when I did play my first game in Toronto, especially Maple Leaf Gardens. So something you never forget. And it was great. It was fantastic.
We very much appreciate this, Doug,
Absolutely.
and we wish you the best. Wish you the best with Ingolstadt. I'd love to come over and watch a game next season, but
Let me know if you do. You're more than welcome. Bristol, you too.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. It was nice to see you. It's been a while.
Great to see you guys. Keep in touch, and all the best. Eh?